morning, guys. How y'all doing? I was measuring my new piston. Bought an oversized piston for the Kawasaki, and I was just miking it out. The calipers here to see what the actual measurements on it are. And this looks to me like it says 66 millimeters. $65.98. $66.03. I believe that if I look at this other one, the one I took out, $66.50, 0.49. That's bigger, isn't it? 66.5. This is a half a millimeter bigger than the new one I bought. The new one's not going to do me any good. There could be carbon buildup. I need to get that off there before I check it again. Anyway, stock, according to the book, is 65.9. Which I'm thinking that new one I bought is actually a stock cylinder or piston. Yeah, standard 65.96 to 65.97. And it's a hair bigger, isn't it? It's a hair bigger, but not much. Well, I say 66, right? So that's like 0.25. That's a quarter of a millimeter bigger than stock. Yeah, I guess that's good, but it's still not as big as the one I got. And that could be my mistake for not checking that first. Well, anyway, I'm gonna look into that, and I'll get back with you. I just want to say good morning, man. Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. And we got a big day planned today, man. We are gonna go to the motorcycle shop. They're giving me my money back on that gasket set that's not going to be here till the end of May. They agreed to give me my money back on that since I already got a set. Then there's some mud bogs going on here in town this afternoon. We're going to try to stop by there and get a little footage of that maybe. And I think we're going to go fishing this evening. And yeah, just a beautiful day out here. And Pat's got the day off. We're going to try to spend some time together. And but I'll shoot some footage and share with you how the day goes, man. It's just too nice to keep it all to myself, you know? Alright, so I'll see y'all in a little while and let you know how things turn out. Alright. As you can see, this is the next day, and you know, sometimes when you make plans, well, things just don't go as planned. Well, we were going to go to that motorcycle shop and get my refund on the gasket set and talk to them about that piston I ordered, and it was not big enough. Well, I take partial fault for that because I didn't disassemble the machine before I ordered it, and it was a quarter of a millimeter bigger than stock. So they did step me up a notch. So I didn't get a refund on that. However, it doesn't do me any good. And we found out that the cylinder, which I already knew, was already bored out at 67 millimeters, which is as big as you can go on this particular machine because the cylinder wall is too thin if you go any further than that. And now my problem is you can't find rings for that I won't say anywhere, but I haven't found any yet. And so we messed around at this motorcycle shop yesterday, Pat and I, because, you know, we were going to do that, stop and have lunch, and then go to the mud bogs, and then go fishing, and just make a great day of things. And we ended up at that motorcycle shop for like 3 hours, ho-humming around with these guys, while we tried to scratch our heads and come up with solutions and ideas and look through their junk and see what they had, and pretty much come up empty. And their final solution was use the new rings that they got. And I said, well, therefore that piston is too small. And he goes, oh, it'll, not the owner, but his helper, the guy I can't ever get to call me back, tells me, oh look, we got company, oh, little bunny, tells me, oh, it'll be all right. I said, well, the end gap's going to be too big. He goes, just stagger them, it'll be all right. Well, I just agreed to disagree and get out of there. So I'm sitting here now just a minute ago, and I don't know if you know how that process works, but basically you get your cylinder and you put your ring in there, and you take your piston and push it down to where it's flat in here, and you take your feeler gauges like so, and you measure the gap in between them, and you keep switching these around till you find the ones that you feel, you know, the little, you can feel it on both sides of the feeler gauge. Well, I got a little collection of them here, and it's huge. It's like 2.18 millimeters. Now the specifications in the manual say the recommended limit is 0.15 to 0.30, and the service limit is 0.6, so you can actually have them that close, which that's like paper thin, you know. A cigarette rolling paper is 100 thousandths, which I don't know what that is in millimeters, but you probably take 6 of those and you're right around 6 millimeters, you know, or 0.6 millimeters, something like that. So anyway, to use those new rings is like, are you kidding me? I thought you guys were professionals. They'll work on that piston if I find a new cylinder that's never been honed, and then bore it out 1/4 of a millimeter over. What? Anyway, so that's what I did now. And you can see it's not that sunny out here today, and even the rings that were in it, since they bored it out, I think those, they didn't get bigger rings in. Those measured out the gap at 0.80 millimeters, which is 50 above what specifications are. It's like no wonder I didn't have any compression. Anyway, so the sun's not shining. That didn't work out. And you know how when you have one of those days where things don't work out, you're better off to leave well enough alone. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, you may remember in my last video that I had showed you where I disassembled the engine on the four-wheeler. Yeah, I'm going to move the camera here a little bit and show you some stuff. Alright. Right down in there, I'm going to zoom down in on it. See that little black dot right in the center of the screen? That is a head bolt that's broke off in the block. Right? Right. I had one of them moments too. Here's the head bolt. Let me zoom back out so it'll make sense. There's the head bolt. You can see where the threads are like just barely there, and it's fractured off. So I gotta drill and extract that out of there, but I'm not gonna do that today because the way my day's going, I have a feeling it'll just become a big mess. But by request from T-Man's Go-Karts, for you, buddy. I'm going to show you this front end. He asked if I could shoot a little footage of this front end. He's got some idea conjuring up in his head. And so I'm just going to take a little shot of it here and let him kind of see how it works. Let me zoom back and pan in on it for you a little better. This part right here unbolts. It's not even actually part of it. That's just to hold the fenders up and stuff like that. Alright. The actual workings of it, I should really take a tire off for you to see it, but I think you can see it from here. There's your spindle and yoke. And there's shock mount. Now deep inside here is where it really gets interesting. I thought this was pretty unique the way they did this myself. I'm glad you asked me about this because I probably wouldn't have brought this to anyone's attention if you hadn't asked. You see how those A-arms are attached? Out here on the ends by the yoke, they're welded. It's all welded assembly. And it's two separate pieces. They're connected by this piece. And I'm going to pan out a little more. And then the pivot points are here on brackets on a bar that runs from here to here. It's quite clear as mud. And then of course you got regular tie rod ends that have little grease dirt boots on them. They're not like any go-kart, you know, swivel ends, tie rod ends like they have. These are actually like automotive. But what else is unique about this is the one on this side. I don't know if that's showing up very well. Trying to get to where I can see. You notice there's 3 holes there, and then it's attached to the very end hole. Well, on the steering arm itself, you can see it in there. There's 2 bolts, one for each tie rod end. Well, this side has 3 holes, and it bolts to the outer side. Now the one on the other side is different. No, I should just take the camera off the tripod. I'm going to spin this around and shoot it from over here. Maybe. If it'll let me. See how much shorter that is? And it's only got 2 holes. And then it bolts to the upper part of that. And so they have the same distance and same travel, I guess. I really haven't got my mind wrapped around that completely, being as they're different lengths, but they got different fulcrum point positions due to this. This has further out So when you move this a little bit, you move this an inch, and it actually travels farther because it's further away from your fulcrum. Anyway, the shaft itself just bolts on here, and it's a swivel. And there's a bearing up in here on the top, which on this particular machine, right up under here, there's a bearing of some sort. But hear that? It's got a little bit of slop in it. I haven't taken it apart to look at it yet. I figure that's not going to affect me until I get everything working. And we'll see how much play it has. If it bothers me too much, I'll take it apart at that time and look at it. Excuse me. Anyway. So, does this help you, T? Quite a unique deal. And the way they got those A-arms bent, it's just like, that's Japanese for you, man. I'll tell you what, they have some of the smartest engineers in the world creating this stuff, you know. And that's why when people go in and start chopping things up and welding back together and trying to use the wrong rings in your pistons and cylinders and crap like that, you don't have to be an engineer, but you gotta use your brain, you know. I think they just wanted me to get out of their shop so they'd go home, telling me to use the ones I got, which are smaller than the ones I do got. I just can't believe it. So at any rate, Pat's off today. It's very rare we have the weekend off together. So I think she's in there cooking us something to eat, and she bought a movie for us the other day. I think we're going to watch a movie and just enjoy the day together. So that being said, I'm going to get on out of here, and I got to go back to work tomorrow. I'm going to mull this all over, dig around the internet, see if I can't find a jug or some rings or something that'll work. I am not going to put that together half-assed. That's just stupid. I've already got, you know, even though I got this thing dirt cheap, I've already got some money invested in it and all my time too. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it to where when it's together it's going to work, and it's going to work right. What do you think about that, boys? Alright, so anyway, I'll see you guys. Hope that helps you out, T. We'll see y'all. Take care.